Hello, everybody. Welcome to this party-sized edition of No Wrestling in the House. King, my brother, how are you?
I'm doing good, Daniel. It's been a fun SummerSlam weekend. We had a lot to go over right now. We're just going to give quick reviews and our reactions to some of the... to the whole SummerSlam card.
Yes.
It's been fun. I don't know if I want to give away what I think as a whole for the show just yet, but I enjoyed it. I had fun.
Yeah? Oh, my goodness. I admittedly want to go through every match because there was a lot of fun in there.
Yep.
And I don't want the bad parts to overcome the good parts, but there were some bad
parts.
Yeah. This party, there were some drunks. Some really awkward calls.
Some people that you didn't want in there.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But they all got in there.
Alrighty, perfect. So do you want to just begin right off the bat? Obviously, we were not in the same place at the same time. No. I was, during the pre-show, I was on my way to Burlington, Ontario, and unfortunately was not able to catch the entirety of the pre-show. But you were here in Casa de No Wrestling in the House.
Yes. Via satellite.
Via satellite.
Yes. I'm going to go real quick. Let's get over this pre-show.
Perfect.
It does deserve a mention. Miz Taraj versus Jason Jordan and the Hardys. Sorry. You know what? We'll give you our star rating at the end of each discussion, but I'm just going to say that the empty arena was just the elephant in the room. The lack of an elephant in the room. There was no audience to be seen almost. Everybody knows that they let the audience start coming in at 5 o'clock. That match was probably like 5:10, 5:15, so nobody was there. The thing that hurt it the most for me was the Miz deserves so much better. Hell, the Hardys deserve better. I mean, almost anybody in that situation deserves better. It was almost reminiscent of a Super Bowl halftime show with The Rock versus Mankind in an empty arena match, but unfortunately for all the wrong reasons here. Miz, like I mentioned, it hurt to not have... Every title had a focus on. Mm-hmm. Every title was defended besides the IC title, which really hurts its credibility. There's rumors that the Miz is extremely frustrated backstage because of this, what happened, and the fact that there was an empty arena. You're supposed to work off the crowd. Somebody like the Miz is, 70% of his shtick is working off the crowd, right? Just like any superstar. So I think it hurt. It sucks. I don't understand why they would even let that. Why wouldn't they wait another 10-15 minutes to let some crowd start coming in? You don't need a crowd there to have the freaking the panel to discuss. You know what I mean? Let the panel discuss, show your previews and all that, and then move on to the match. But it sucked, and for that, Daniel, I had to give it a 0.5. Was it a 0.5 that I get? 1.5. Sorry, 1.5 out of 5. There was still a match involved.
How did Jason Jordan look?
He took the pin. So it was interesting. I think that was the smart way to go. I don't know where they're going to go from here with Jason Jordan, but, whatever. It was, he did his whole, his pump up and blah. Yeah. But, again, as a character, nobody's sold on him. Yeah. So it's only going to translate into the ring that nobody's really sold on him right now. Yeah. He's talented, but whatever. The Miz is the Miz. I'm happy he at least picked up the win. Mm-hmm. But... moving forward, I think everybody involved needs to kind of, the Miz Taraj is together, but the Hardys need to separate themselves from Jason Jordan. And, hey, if No Mercy comes with Jason Jordan versus The Miz, hopefully there's something more to it. But for now, I'm going to give it a 1.5 out of 5 stars because, there was a match, but the empty arena really hurt it. And it was just a thrown together match for no reason almost, so...
Yeah, I'll unfortunately I was not able to catch this one. But I will say that WWE not putting enough importance on the IC Championship, that is the championship that is there every show, is kind of tragic.
Yes.
I was able to catch this one. It's Neville versus Akira Tozawa. I told you last time we recorded that Akira Tozawa is a very exciting thing to happen to the...
You were happy that they put the title on him?
Yes. But you showed concern that Neville
was going to regain.
That was going to regain, and that defeat over Neville on a Raw was not befitting somebody of Neville who had not lost at that point. So yeah, as you said, he regained.
There you go. They flip-flopped it.
Yeah.
It shows me that they don't have enough faith in Akira to carry the cruiserweight division, and he's not yet the babyface to take over Neville's reign. And in my opinion, he wasn't. You know what I mean? Somebody like Austin Aries or even hell Enzo, if they move him down, would be a good move to get that strap on. But you know what? The loss on Monday just hurt Neville. Because you now put this little blemish on his reign, whereas it could have just kept going.
Yeah.
And it was telling a fine story, just kept going, but I think it hurt it. It seems like a cheap shot at ratings, to be honest, last week.
Yeah.
And this is, you know what, guys? This was our first title change in many on SummerSlam, and I'm going to kind of get into that. But, yeah, it's, you know what? Other than that, though, 3.5 is the way I'll go. 3.5 out of 5 stars because these two are putting together some good matches, and Neville kind of went back to his dominant way.
Yeah,
he did.
I really enjoyed
most of that match. So I'm gonna give it 3.5. It was good.
I'll agree with you. 3.5 for this match. I do think there's still upside to Akira Tozawa.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a back and forth we're gonna see, and I do understand some people don't like that, but I really liked it with the Women's Championship long ago.
Wow.
So. Next up, I was unable to see this one. It was Usos versus the New Day, and looking at your notes here, pal. It looks really good.
It was a slobber knocker, Dan. 4 out of 5. Well, 4 out of 5 stars was my personal rating for this because, you know what? Was it as good as the Battleground match? Yes, it was as good. Was it better? I don't know because the New Day winning at the Battleground really pumped up a surge into that match.
Yeah.
This match, Usos took it back. Flip-flopping. Here we go. It's continuing. I don't like flip-flopping. I like some champions to hold it for a pay-per-view. You know what I mean? And there was no personal reason. There was no reason for the Usos to win it back, right? Again, these two worked magic. It was good. Hence the 4 out of 5. It possibly was the best tag match on the card and maybe of the year so far. But again, the title change, the ending to a match always puts that finish rating on it. And I think the only reason this wasn't greatness for me, this is of course above good, but was because the Usos retained. And hey, we'll see where it goes from here. But New Day, SummerSlam, Brooklyn, New York just felt right for them to retain.
Yeah.
And it didn't. So
anything exciting from Kofi Kingston?
Kofi was on the side.
Oh, okay, right on.
Yes.
How was he as a hype man?
It was just, Xavier Woods, it's fun to finally see him take part in the big matches.
I heard his strength.
He's doing good. Yes, he's doing really good. Their entrance was really funny. Was that, Tiger Cats? I sent you a
I remember, yes. Yeah, those were really wild costumes.
Yeah, really fun. It felt like they should have won. Yeah. SummerSlam being the second to WrestleMania, felt like they should have won.
This show was filled with wild costumes, as we'll talk about with each match. Now we're going on to the main card. Yeah. When was the last time Cena opened a pay-per-view?
A SummerSlam, nonetheless.
Yes.
You know what? I don't know. Cena, he's still one of the front guys on the posters, as you can tell. He was on the poster for this year's SummerSlam, aside from the main event players that were on there. This match, again, Daniel, how do you feel? It had potential. Cena was joking around ringside, hurt the match, joking with Corbin. Corbin spent just almost the entire match talking to the audience.
Yeah.
It got annoying to the point because every time he talked to the audience, it led to Cena kind of almost getting the upper hand again. So it was just cut and paste. I don't know.
I don't know who the agent for this match would be, but I feel like, there was a...
Well, was there an agent? Is this punishment to Baron Corbin? I think so. I think there's rumor that Bobby Roode is moving up to replace that heel spot that was supposed to go to Corbin.
Oof. Yeah. What happened to Corbin to deserve this, Victor? I don't think we discussed it in our last show.
Well, you know what? Again, it's already making its rounds. Some bad tweets tweeted wrong to a military individual. So you know how WWE is with their tribute to the troops, of course, rightfully so. So WWE is really taking a stance on the superstars' involvement outside of the ring, right? Be it social media, be it however they act, right? A lot of problems with CM Punk. That's what Vince has gone on record saying, right? With how Punk was outside. And you know what? It's interesting because who knows? Let's go back to the Attitude Era. How would some of those superstars had been if Twitter had existed in that time. We don't know, right? But Corbin tweets as he is.
Yes.
And so should he be punished? I don't know, because that's his
I
character.
know. I think Kevin Owens hasn't been punished.
Exactly. And so, you know what? Hey, not sure. But it clearly, for me, he was buried. The match it sucks to see somebody of Cena's the top guy.
Yeah.
He still is. Just not motivated by a match. And you know what? Rewatch that match. Watch Cena's facial expressions, even when he wins and leaves the arena.
Yeah, he hugged two people.
Yeah, he's just not. Even when he was giving away his armbands and stuff, he wasn't smiling much. He was just deflated. You know what? This is boring.
Yeah,
and it is.
Admittedly, they have done a lot of terrible things to Corbin now.
Exactly.
Losing that briefcase and such. So, and now on to.
Well, we gave that. Sorry,
we
didn't say the rating. 2 out of 5 stars would be that.
Yeah, I think we both agreed on that. No discussion there. Naomi versus Natalya for the SmackDown Women's Championship. As I told you, I like Naomi. I really love Naomi. Yes. But she's not super exciting. I think this is a good shakeup as we...
You think this was the right call? You did go with Natalya in our prediction show.
Yeah. But that might have been my Canadian bias. But it is, I think... This is the kind of shakeup this division needed. Naomi's has held it since back in WrestleMania.
Yes, but she hasn't done much.
So
that was my problem. I was hoping that this was going to be a turnaround. Yeah. That Naomi would win this and continue on at least to Survivor Series for me.
And I think from the entrance all the way to even after the match, the importance of this match seemed really good. Naomi, of course, came out with this really cool new jacket, new lovely costume for the show, and I loved it. It made the non-wrestling fans who watched it with me love it. And at the end of the show, when she had lost, she cried over that title. And I think that's the importance you give that title when somebody is so passionate about it, where they just collapse into tears, either winning it or losing it. Boyhood dreams and such.
Yeah, the match itself was good. To me.
Very good.
You know, there was some good spots in it. Naomi did a flip over Natalya. Naomi took a head dive right into the steel post, the turnbuckle. Whatever.
Yeah, I remember that was good.
It really looked like she fought that sharpshooter. She fought it really well, eventually tapping out to it. 3 out of 5 is a good match, not great. Both did really well. Natalya being champion, this is now our 3rd title change of the night. Straight title change of the night. Natalya being champion, I think there was one interesting point that, what is it, Tom Phillips? Is that his name?
Yes, Tom Phillips.
Had made when Natalya made her way in. With SummerSlam, she tied Trish Stratus with the most amount of pay-per-view fights. And I think that was good thing to acknowledge, because you don't realize just how far along, and all Natalya has to show for it was one Divas title reign that a lot of people didn't even know happened. So her winning the title felt good. She can do a lot with it. She seems to be a dominant heel now.
I think there's
kind of, but Naomi. The negative side to it all was how popular Naomi is. They said they're gonna sell those titles with the glows and stuff. So then why take it off?
I'll buy it.
It probably hasn't even gone on the shelf yet. I don't know, but why take it off? So I don't know where this is going. Carmella didn't cash in. She didn't even make a ringside appearance to taunt or anything. But I think I'm happy Carmella didn't cash in. Match was good. Questionable booking only because Naomi. She did not reach her full potential. There's still time, of course.
Of course. I really liked how, again, the end of the match, when Natalya was up, I knew I was like, okay, she's up and she's Natalya Hart, or Neidhart. You do not want to cash in on her. She would still be able to win.
She was up right away. Nobody was. So that was limping around. So it was good.
I really enjoyed that match. So as you said, another title change. We're going to go on to a non-title match. It's Big Show versus Big Cass with our man Enzo Amore suspended above the ring. Lots of fun things happened this match, but
one fun
thing happened in this match. But I think we overall soured on this match. What was your feeling about Big Show versus Big Cass? Big Show coming in with an injured arm.
Yeah, the injured arm didn't add anything for me. It was there.
I seen him wince once or twice.
Yeah, I know he did. He tried to grab a turnbuckle. It hurt. He did the knockout punch that obviously wasn't at 100% strength. Yeah. Again, Big Show's a veteran. He played it off very well. The match itself, though, was a pre-show match, and you're coming off of something as good as the New Day or even the Cruiserweights, and you're watching this and you're just like, man, bathroom break. I think I ran out to go get pop, really, to be honest, during this match. But then I did catch it all, though. From an in-ring standpoint, Big Cass winning, the Enzo got such a reaction coming out of that cage with the lotion. Say what you want. It was funny. It was
clever.
I loved it, but it only led to a big boot. And it was like, why then? Why? Hey, like, you guys, again, whatever he did to get kicked off that bus clearly was like, hey, we're going to keep punishing you. I've seen them punish guys, right? We have all seen it, right? Infamously, Triple H being punished after the curtain call. But with this, it's like, but he's so over that you're just punishing yourselves. Very because much, us as a fans are just like, well, why did I watch this? Like, what? I got this. This is not significant now at all. It would have been fun if, here you go, the Club came out, was beaten on the Big Show. Enzo escaped, does a big leap and lands on him. You know what I mean? Like that. Not just hang there and, oh, crap, boot, done, knocked out, one kick, he doesn't even move. Big Cass wins. So, you know what? Who looks... Actually, if you really look at it on paper, Big Cass looks like the babyface in all this. Because he's been... Does he not? Because he's been having to put up with two people at once.
That's true.
Hey.
Yeah, Shark Cage, it was really weird that they put a baby face into the Shark Cage.
We had said that
traditionally,
before, right?
It's always been the heel manager. I think Enzo needs that big shakeup, and I keep arguing with you that I don't really want to see him in the Cruiserweight, but I think that's the only place for him.
I don't want him to go to NXT.
Yeah.
I think he needs to be on the main roster. But you know what, Daniel, just looking at it, I think you had given it a 1. I'm going to agree with that. Definitely. I had given it a 1.5 initially, but once you start talking, you kind of get it out of your system. 1. Definitely 1 out of 5.
I think most of that 1 star came from the fact that they changed Big Cass's music.
Yes.
They changed it to a little more of a generic rock tune.
Yeah, and what about Baron? Sorry to go back on Baron Corbin, the Wolfpack logo that was on no, but for me, that wolf. Yeah, for his opening, it looks like the Wolfpack logo, so this is interesting.
That's awesome.
But yeah, continue.
Yeah, so now we'll go on to our next match: Randy Orton versus Rusev.
I personally don't want to give this a rating. I know you disagreed with me. I gave it a 0.5 just to give it a rating. There's no match. When there's no match, it hurts, regardless of what happens outside the ring. You take, like Great Balls of Fire, Samoa Joe attacking Brock Lesnar before the bell was storyline. It was a story. Like, this is how I'm going to get an upper hand over Brock Lesnar, and then there was still a match preceded. Yeah. This had no point because I had brought to your attention, you didn't really realize that Rusev versus Reigns for the United States Championship last year at SummerSlam was just an outside brawl. Match never started. So when they started that this way, I was like, are you serious? Like, is Rusev, do you have that much little faith in Rusev? I get it. Orton is Orton. He is future Hall of Famer without a doubt. Whatever it was, 14-time world champion, or 12 or 13, whatever. He's up there.
He's up there.
And just did not. This doesn't benefit anybody because Randy comes out just to the fans. It's like, well, you almost look at Randy as the problem in the situation. Yeah. So it doesn't help Randy. It doesn't help Rusev because, again, he should be a top heel at this point, and feuding with guys like Cena and Orton should do that to you instead of being used as a dang flagpole. But like, it hurts everybody. So I had to give it a 0.5. I'm not budging from that 0.5, Daniel. I know I see you on your paper. You got it a little bit higher than that. I am not budging from that 0.5.
The only reason
there was no match. The RKO looked awesome. It was like Rusev landed straight on the top of his head, but there's no match. I'm gonna give it a 0.5.
I'll agree with you. I initially had even brought it over to a 1 just because of how quick that RKO was, and that for me, they are sticking to that narrative.
You have to really look at it and look at it as a stage. Who's involved? Yeah, the stage that it's on, SummerSlam. It is,
and there was no story for this one. So nothing to build to that one. Thus, nothing to actually happen. Now it's Alexa Bliss versus Sasha Banks. Alexa Bliss, the Raw Women's Champion. How do you feel about this one? This was a pretty good match.
The two again. Had the whole Bayley thing kind of not happened, it builds a good story moving forward. Because now when Bayley comes back,
she has Sasha.
We're gonna see something good. But Alexa versus Sasha has a Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels feeling to it for me. Just because of the real backstage heat that they apparently have. And you know what? They put on a good match. Mm-hmm. It was good. I gave it a 3.5. Few steps away from being great.
Yep.
Sasha Banks' title change is what I wanted. It's what I predicted.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that hurt it for me was that we just saw 3 title changes. Mm-hmm. And so there's you know, Daniel, there's a certain emotion that goes behind a title change. You know what I mean? Like, either a shock or a yes, it's finally happened. Sasha Banks winning that title was a yes, it finally happened moment. Mm-hmm. But you just had a couple of shockers / yes, it finally happened before.
Yeah.
So took away from it. To me, too many title changes, especially in a row, because you're gonna see that we went from all title changes to no title changes. So later on in the show. So
absolutely.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna stick with that 3.5 though, because they're great. I look forward to their rematch. Do you see Alexa Bliss's No Mercy promo?
Yes, I did.
Commercial for it. So she clearly, I think the rematch is gonna happen there, and I mean, hopefully Sasha doesn't lose it right away, but. Mm-hmm. Again, this feud, I think that match, if it happens at No Mercy, will be
my only worry
above 3.5.
My only worry is for Raw, or for the Raw brand in general. Where's Nia Jax fitting in all this? Or
here's
if she's going to be
Daniel, like, if they're just sticking to the women's title as the sole only storyline for both shows, then you can't just do 3-ways and fatal 4-ways all the time to get everybody involved. You gotta have your one-on-ones, and you gotta find ways to. On a show like SummerSlam that's co-branded, they're not gonna be a part of it. But No Mercy, whether it be a pre-show or like, we can now have 2 women's storylines and 2 women's matches happening at the same time. So
on a 3-hour show, they gotta fit it in.
Exactly. So you know what? There's room for it. Nia Jax, we will see her in the title picture eventually.
I really
see her
so.
as a champion
for sure. All right, it's Balor versus Wyatt, blood buckets and all. How do you feel about this one? Balor announced that he was bringing the demon this time around.
He did. He sure did. The and everything, face paint and all, and the wacky boogeyman movements outside and all. Good match. Mm-hmm. Hey, whatever. They just gave it to us 7 days ago or whatever it was. Yep. But good match, strong performance by both. Balor keeping this Demon King once a year type of thing.
Oh yeah,
is awesome.
I
hope we don't see it until WrestleMania.
Yeah,
and you know what? It was good. Using the Bray Wyatt's, he's got the whole world in his hand theme before it was really good. I liked it. Good match. Not much to say here. Like I didn't expect these two to put on a bad match unless it was going to be a short, RKO out of nowhere type of match. But. You know what? It was good to see finally somebody hit Bray during that whole crawling thing he does, because that
I think this
really made sense to me.
Really cool to see these two, because they're very much, I think, the next generation's Undertaker and Kane in that sense. They're
exactly. Well, the reason why we say that, guys, we don't want to just compare everything back, but it's the supernatural.
Yes,
and it's all about. I felt like Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt brought too much supernatural into it and got a little too kooky.
You got to get subtle now, especially this era.
Exactly, the reality era, as many will call it. Bray and Balor did a good job at bringing their supernatural.
And the story leading up with this was a lot of fun. Yeah. So,
I gave it a 3 out of 5. I see you have a different number there, Daniel. But again, good, not great. Potential. Do you want to see this feud continue?
Absolutely.
Okay, so for me, it's 3 out of 5. They have a potential to beat this match.
I think just because of the lead up and just how attitude era this all is, I gave 3.5, so just a little bit more.
I don't know, fans. You guys got to be the ones to
kill this one. Up. Yeah. Alrighty, next up, another title match. It's Cesaro and Sheamus versus Ambrose and Rollins, or Walrus Place, as I like to call them, because I don't know if they're really the Shield yet.
No, they're not full-blown Shield. Side note, all Shield members were wearing red and black yesterday. Some people pointed that out on Twitter.
Was Ambrose wearing?
Yes, he came in his sweater. His sweater was DA logo was red, and the sweater was black.
What I like that during the match, Rollins was in red and Ambrose was in blue, and it looked like the first player and the second player.
Oh, wow.
Anywho. Yes, this was a really good match, and I thought it was really cool to see the Shield kind of coming back together. And
well, what many people, at least back in the day, that thought that the two of the best were in the Shield were Ambrose and Rollins.
Yeah,
they worked really well off each other.
Yeah,
and best storyline throughout this whole card, I think so.
Yes.
I think that because the reaction that they got when they finally did their fists,
when
they finally fisted each other. But sorry,
stretch.
But I think you know what, it was good to see it come in the tag team division. If you look at it, tag teams, you combine the two matches, almost stole the show again. With the exception of the main event, which we'll get into. But yes, I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Really good match. Sheamus and Cesaro, man. I don't want them to get the titles back unless it's because Ambrose and Rollins kind of feuding. But hey, they're good. They're so good. And
they are.
I think everybody
fantastic.
involved in this match was really good. Matt Hardy tweeted that he would like to see Rollins and Ambrose versus the Hardy Boys as the next feud. That would be fun. Wow.
That would be a lot of fun.
We're in the here and now.
Yeah.
And hey,
this
4 out
Cesaro
of 5 stars. It was really good. I liked it.
Does Cesaro just become our biggest babyface after ripping apart the beach ball from the crowd?
You got a yes chant, that's for sure. No, well, you know what? Again, I guess that was supposed to be a heel move.
Yes.
But it was good. The all 4 competitors are such strong individual superstars that having them take part in the tag team division is just really exciting. I think it takes it back to
I thought it was just classical tag team fundamentals. By the end of it, it seemed like Dean Ambrose was not going to be making it out. Sheamus was really beating down. Of course, Cesaro was causing defensive.
Ambrose was, you questioned whether Rollins was going to come back in or not.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really well done.
And Rollins comes in, is able to scare away the others. But Ambrose still got the pin. Yeah. So he looked great.
Sorry, to take it way back to the Usos versus New Day, because before I forget, Daniel, go back and watch it simply because Big E takes like a plethora of super kicks. And it's really cool. It's almost like an army movie where one soldier is getting shot up like 8 times. It's really good because he's super kick, double super kick, just to get him down.
Oh my goodness.
But yes, sorry. But yeah, this match, I'm sticking that 4 out of 5. Daniel, you agree?
I agree wholeheartedly.
It was really good. That
was really great. All right. It's what I probably said, the real main event.
It was. You said the real main event.
It's AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens for the United States Championship. AJ Styles, the champion.
Yes.
And Shane McMahon.
Do you feel that there was too much Shane in this? I don't think so. Yes.
I thought he was perfect in the role. I thought he was down the middle, and
he had his scuffle with both.
Yes, he had his scuffle with both, being dragged on to Kevin Owens and receiving the kind of the belly flop from my man AJ Styles, and being pushing Kevin Owens into a roll up.
Yes.
So I really like this match. I thought he was perfect in the role. Do you see this going to a Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Simply just because the 3 count that Shane counted, Kevin Owens celebrated, but AJ's foot was on. I agree completely, Daniel. It was fun. It was a really good match. The best in the series of Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles, which is really good. They wanted to deliver. They did. Shane added that great intrigue to it. Had spots with both of them, so you don't feel that he was really unfair to one and not the other. Hopefully it does move on to Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon, and AJ can find another opponent, Shinsuke Nakamura. But hey,
well, we'll talk about him later.
Yeah, he seems like he has something to do now. But really good match, 4 out of 5 stars, guys. Were you expecting any less from these two? No. Shane McMahon, a veteran in the industry now, really thinking about it. He knows what he's doing, so sweat buckets and all, he definitely knows what he's doing.
For sure.
Great match.
Yep, and I agreed with your score of a 4-star. And without further ado, let's just go on to the next one. It's Jinder Mahal, the
main event,
the WWE champion, the world champion, versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, This was not a great match.
No.
Possibly the worst Shinsuke Nakamura match I've ever seen.
Yes. Mind you, I've only had, some Shinsuke knowledge from NXT and WWE. I don't really follow too much of overseas stuff and independence, but from just what I know of him, what I've seen of him, I mean, NXT Dallas TakeOver was enough to really know about him.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Yeah, by far the worst.
And it went as expected. I think we both agree that Jinder was winning this one.
Yeah, we did. That the Singh brothers were getting involved.
Yeah.
But how bad is it? Like, how flat was that finish?
Yeah. It didn't even seem like a complete move.
No. So many things were wrong with that finish. Was the Singh brothers being involved exactly the same way that they have been with Randy, right? And with Randy Orton. And when he went to give him his finisher there, I think you can see him word to Shinsuke to give him his arm.
Yeah.
So it was just awkward, and then it was like, all right, you know what? Just because of that alone, Shinsuke needs to kick out.
Yeah.
But no, he handed Shinsuke. I'm positive, guys. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. His first WWE loss.
Yeah.
Wow. Talk about a way to devalue the title. Sorry, but also hurt one of your top Shinsuke's. The reaction Shinsuke gets when his music starts is uncomparable.
The violin was brought out this time.
Yes,
which I was really happy about.
Yes, but again, a very standard SmackDown like match. It sucks. With Daniel, let's just focus a little bit. Jinder Mahal. Okay. What they're doing creatively with him hasn't been working with us, really, right? Okay, but he is almost in charge of what happens in the ring, especially working with veterans like Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura. Is Jinder not making most of the opportunity giving to him? Do you think he's not the performer that... Do you think he's just not performing? Because I'm stepping away from creative now. I'm stepping away from creative. We're not happy with that. We know that. Yeah. As a performer, is he failing to make use of the opportunity that's been given to him?
That's the thing. I don't know how hard creative has their hand in that. Or like agents and such. Like, okay, don't be too good.
Yeah. Don't be too good, yeah.
But also, I've never been impressed by Jinder's moves.
Yeah.
I like him because, he's diversity to that title.
Yeah.
But it's not so much he's not so much of the fighting champion or even a great heel champion. I think there have been, like, CM Punk was a great heel champion.
Yeah.
Lots of great heel champions that did not have to be burdened with having a pretty terrible storyline.
Yeah.
So, and also there was very little build to this match.
Yeah.
I do see maybe...
It became a national thing, right? Like they kind of, on the promo video before, it was kind of a national.
A bit of me also kind of enjoyed that.
Yeah, no, that was fine.
Yeah.
Hey, leave it to the WWE production team to make any match look big with their videos.
Yeah.
But it's just where do we go from here? I don't want to say a prediction because I'm gonna post this up today. But we got Raw, we got SmackDown.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Just with the basic idea of Cena's going to Raw apparently, and Shinsuke, I hope doesn't get a rematch, and Baron Corbin no longer has the Money in the Bank. Where do you go with Jinder? I don't know. And again, I agree, Daniel. I'm not impressed. I had hoped that. Okay, at least he'll put in some B+ matches or some almost 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5 star matches, but he's not. He's not. We were giving him a bone almost during the Randy Orton feud, like, oh, it's that old style of wrestling, it's good. But now he got paired up with the King of Strong style, somebody who almost is bringing an entire movement of wrestling to WWE, and it fell flat. It was just it was not good. I gave it 2 out of 5 stars simply because. Like, it was a match, but it just...
I'll agree with that wholeheartedly.
Could have main evented SmackDown, I don't know.
Initially, I was wavering on maybe changing my grade even to something lower, but I'll agree on that because I really did enjoy how they actually brought the commentary from both the Japanese and Hindi commentary into the match some way. I don't know if I ever told you, my vision for wrestling is a good game of Street Fighter.
Yeah.
They're international. Somebody had asked me, would Shinsuke be the first WWE champion of Japanese descent? Actually, he wouldn't be. Antonio Inoki was a WWF champion, I believe.
Yes, okay.
But he did not defend it. I think he just relinquished it immediately because he could not come to North America to defend it. Anywho, I guess we're going on to the main event.
Yes. Interesting point to kind of give you for what I feel, how they feel about the WWE title right now, is if you notice most big 4 pay-per-views or brand joint interviews, pay-per-views, don't you notice that the WWE title and / World Universal now title have always been separated by a couple of matches in between?
Yeah, but usually it's like one to highlight the second hour and one to highlight
if not. Yeah. Notice that they went back to back here. Doesn't that kind of explain what they think of the WWE title with Jinder Mahal right now? Doesn't that kind of show you? Like, you even go back to WrestleManias, the 2 matches always have a filler in between or a couple of matches in between.
So they can let people breathe.
Kind of shows you. But the main event, guys, what do we say about this?
Goodness. So, Reigns versus Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar, the champion, and Braun Strowman. So, this match will win everywhere, and I love it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Braun Strowman is a megastar in WWE.
He has that championship around him.
Yeah, it's almost
very soon.
Yeah, it's almost there.
It was almost disappointing to me that, like, I had predicted that Samoa Joe was maybe even going to win, possibly going to have just because of how much upside he had, a bigger role in this match. But he just didn't, because it's not.
When the dust settles, he didn't really. I mean, he came close.
Yeah, he did really well.
The clutch.
Yes, he did, and that was a really cool scene. But Braun Strowman was the shining star of this entire show.
You know what, they say what they want about this focus on Reigns. Reigns took the pin.
He did.
We'll let's touch on that a little bit after. But Braun Strowman is by far all cards in on this guy. What didn't he do in this match? He owned every major spot almost.
He did.
With Lesnar, putting Lesnar through the tables again. I've mentioned it before on the podcast, Daniel. There are some crowds that you want to be a part of. I wish I was there.
Yeah,
that was
my goodness,
amazing. Crowd was insane. Fully behind Braun Strowman going in on that, Daniel. Do you want to discuss the result, Daniel? Lesnar is still champion, right? Right call? For me, it is.
I thought that
a lot of people are angry that he is. That he's still the champion.
I don't get me wrong. I had hoped for
a new
champion. Samoa Joe would have been the Brock Lesnar that's full time, but I'm starting to realize that for me, it's only the 30-day rule, because I just like consistency in my stories. But there's actually nothing wrong with having Brock Lesnar as champion. It makes the championship more important.
It does.
You only get to see it a few times. The main event of some Raw pay-per-views are simply contenderships for the championship.
It's insane.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I like that. That really makes it more important.
Yeah.
But again, I don't see the championship being defended every 30 days. They got to figure out, I just want to hear them say something about it. Yeah. But Brock Lesnar still as champion is good, and that match really showed that he is a monster that could go through it all.
That kind of goes into my point where 2 takeaways from me. Just because it was a fatal 4-way match, everybody thought Lesnar was going to lose it.
Yeah.
Because it was a fatal 4-way match. Well, this is how they get it off of him without him taking the pin or him losing, actually. That adds credibility to his loss. That it's like, he won. Second, whatever anybody wants to say, I know Lesnar has taken some heat for calling in his matches type of thing, but let's just put this all into perspective. He went through 2 tables, had a table thrown on him, got speared through a barricade, got speared again, and had the clutch put on him and reversed it into an F5.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
And he did look exhausted at the end of that match.
He looked
sold
beaten.
it.
We saw a desperate Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
And that was amazing.
He pulled the ref out.
Yes.
Not Paul Heyman.
Brock Lesnar pulled the
And I thought that was storytelling fantastically
done. It
done.
shows that it can be done, but you just added to the aura of Brock Lesnar, the undefeatable monster.
Any sensible booker after this would push Braun Strowman versus...
He couldn't suplex him.
He could not.
He didn't suplex Braun Strowman, yes. And Braun Strowman destroyed him, and I think that's going to be Braun Strowman's point moving forward. He's going to say that, you know what, you made sure you pinned the other 2 guys, but you didn't pin me.
Yeah.
So I think that's where we're going to go with this. Guys, 4.5 out of 5. This is our first star rating.
Yes.
Episode, yeah. And the reason why we're really, you know what I mean, those 5-star matches, we definitely want to
Yeah.
put as greatness, but guys, like this is a hard one to say.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where does it lose a 0.5?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Maybe for me it was the use of Samoa Joe. I felt like he was an afterthought in most of the match. I mean, he wasn't. He's still Samoa Joe, but I think he could have had maybe a couple more spots. Like everybody, I feel, had a major spot in this except him.
Yeah.
So maybe that's where it comes. But yes, we've heard some ramblings of best fatal 4-way match of all time. In our memory, in our life of wrestling, I would, yes, best fatal 4-way match of all time.
In my memory,
yes.
absolutely. I don't think I've seen one that got me
sheer
this
star
excited.
power, and kind of just go from one major title that was so lackluster to another major title that's just shook the roof off that place. Yeah, I'm sticking with that 4.5. Rather great match. It took the pay-per-view from all right, that was all right, to good /
possibly
possibly
whoa,
great.
Yeah.
And it was because of that main event. We started off with a pretty slow SummerSlam and a questionable one, and then ended off on a really good.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of 2s and 1s on this little chart here.
And it was all in the beginning. That's the funny thing, right? So
first hour did fall flat.
Yeah. Overall, oh man, I'm gonna. You know what? Many may disagree with this. I'm gonna say 4 out of 5 for SummerSlam because it is a big 4, and it felt like a big 4 in the booking. It felt like a big 4 throughout the show. I did not once actually surprisingly think this is dragging on too long.
Yeah.
With 4 hours of main show, it ended right on 11 Eastern. I'm glad it didn't go over, and the main event just made it memorable. That main event's going to be talked about for a long time. It's in the history books. It's going to be shown whenever you talk about SummerSlam / talk about WWE and the Universal title.
For sure.
4 out of 5 stars for SummerSlam.
I would agree with you. How do you feel about? There was rumblings and rumors that The Undertaker was at the show.
I'm not going to speak on it because they still have 2 more days in Brooklyn, and we can kind of hope for something.
Okay, right on.
I don't know.
You have inside knowledge.
They've been really quiet about his health and whatnot. I'm happy. I was kind of everybody was thinking that there'd be a point in time where Roman Reigns would be in the ring and the gong would go off. Mm-hmm. I'm happy it didn't.
Yeah, I'm really happy it didn't.
That
would have taken away
4 superstars.
Yeah.
It stayed on the 4 superstars. It was an amazing match. So now I can say I'm happy I did it.
If there's one thing I could mention about Roman Reigns, is this match really showed that how much I hate that Superman punch and how much he goes ooh.
Okay, hold on.
It was annoying.
So this match was between 4. And now megastars.
Yeah. And he had to get his time in somehow.
4. Superman punch and all. Roman Reigns is, we've said it before, one of the top guys. Whatever it's attached to is money.
Absolutely.
Or is important. This only shows it. I don't care what anybody says about his moveset. He can wrestle.
He can.
He can perform. The only thing I don't like about the Superman punch, I like that he kind of went on a barrage, and I like that they kind of went back to WrestleMania 31 with trying to get Lesnar down. And this, if Reigns is going to be the one to dethrone Lesnar,
that's story.
Okay, because you look at the footage and the history you now have to work off of it. You have 31, and now you have this, and a couple of triple threats that they've had in the past. But, this is good. I just don't like that he pumps up his fist every time he does it. It's so he does one and stop wasting your time, man. I like Spears out of nowhere, kind of, right? Mm-hmm. So the first one being a hoo-ah into a reversal is fine or whatever, but to do it every time, just like the fist pump, it just takes away from the out of nowhere factor, right? So
for sure. I think we've talked this show to death. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Of course,
it was a big 4, guys. It felt like a big 4. It felt like the big 2, how they say it's the WrestleMania of the summer. It was good. Yeah. Simply because of the end of the show.
Exactly.
I think that's kind of what did it. It would have been less had that match not happened.
All right, friends. I guess I still need to watch Brooklyn 3.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Sorry. A note, guys. It's so much wrestling to review NXT as well. Asuka versus Ember Moon stole the show.
I've been told.
Yes. Really, really good match. Yeah, it was. Title
changes. Asuka, I've heard important ones have happened.
Asuka. she's got to relinquish that title.
Exactly.
I think, yes, that's the smart way to go at this point. Amber Moon, I hadn't seen too much of her. She was good. Wow, she's awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So
yeah.
We'll see where it all goes. Well, it's exciting stuff. There's a lot of rumor. As you saw during the NXT takeover, Daniel Bryan and Kurt Angle were both in attendance. So it was really like, is a draft happening? There's a lot of NXT talent that's apparently moving up really soon. So
that's good.
Really exciting stuff, guys. SummerSlam was good. I almost want to say amazing. Like I'm trying to, like amazing's almost rolling off my tongue, but that's just because of the Fatal 4-Way match.
For sure,
really it is. So
and a good main event makes a good show.
Yes, exactly. We all know it. So we got Raw and SmackDown tonight.
Absolutely.
Tomorrow, guys, we'll be up to date with what's going on. No Mercy. Look, I thought there was a SmackDown pay-per-view coming. I guess I'm wrong. No Mercy is next. It's a month away. But hey,
we can do it.
The SummerSlam aftermath needs to kind of settle, I guess.
Absolutely. And there's a lot to be told on those shows. So, for King, for myself, thank you for listening. That was a great party. Please don't forget your loot bags and have a great day.